Very lucky to have on the line with me Burton from Fear Factory. Burton, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. Now, the band basically formed in 1989. Did you ever think that when you were recruited to the band, after being overheard singing in the shower, that you'd still be rocking 25 years later, have toured the world many times, have done 3 Ozfests, had US top 40 singles, albums in the top 100, and have sold over 1 million albums in the US alone? Do you ever look back at what I've just mentioned there and just go, wow?
Not really. I just like to look forward and prepare for what's coming at me. But when you put it that way, it seems like a full career. I never thought about that when we started this band, and I never thought we'd get that far. It's quite an amazing feat for a band.
Now, early on in the career, you were signed by Roadrunner Records. Now, we know that didn't end too well, but in the early days, how important was it to be signed by a major label like that?
Well, it was extremely important. In the old days, listen to me, I'm sounding old, but in the old days of the music industry, the record label meant a lot more than it does today. The record label meant support. It meant a home for you. It meant a place where you could actually create your music, and you had a support group that would get it out there. So Roadrunner was a perfect label for us. They believed in us. They pushed the band. They respected what we did. We were friends with pretty much everyone in the office, every office all over the world. It was a real tight-knit group, and it was a real good support group. And, there was a label that provided support to record albums, or provided support to tour. It provided support for marketing and promotion, and that is, that was amazing. And today, that's virtually unheard of.
Yeah. Now, you've released albums pretty steadily over the years. As far as writing the songs go, who are the main songwriters in the band?
Dino and myself.
Okay. Has that always been the case?
Pretty much, yeah. We would, and we'd always we'd sit together and write, but it was, Dino coming up with riffs, Raymond playing drum beats to the riff, but it usually started with a riff.
Yeah. Do you write while on the road, or are you one of these lock yourselves in the studio type of bands, or something else again?
We don't usually write on the road. I mean, Dino might come up with some cool riffs while on the road, but we wait till we can focus on be able to focus properly. Get into the studio and just knock it out, and we work on it a song at a time.
Yeah. Okay. Now, as far as the recording goes, some bands like the recording process, some bands hate it. Where do you stand on that?
I like it. It's a good creative process. It's it's challenging, and I like a good challenge. And it makes my brain work. It sets my creativity on fire. And, it's great to create some new music, and it's exciting, it's fun for me. And, and once it's over, it's it's done. And, it's a bit of a catharsis kind of process. You get everything out there, and then it's done, and then it's time to tour.
Yeah. Now, you've had a long career, as we touched on before. Has the recording process in the band changed much over the course of those years?
Yeah, a bit. Now, while we're demoing music to record in the studio, we'll just program drums to simplify it and just speed up the process. So
okay.
When we're going to record the album properly, we will, have a drummer.
Now, I've always asked bands how they look back on their last album. It's been 2 years since The Industrialist was released. How did that album turn out, looking back on it now?
It turned out pretty good, you know. Of course, I always, you know, you can always look back and there's things you would change, but I think we did pretty well. You know, it was a good record for the time period we were in.
Yeah.
And I think we had a lot of good songs on that album.
You mentioned looking back and maybe changing things. With the benefit of hindsight, is there anything you'd do differently on any album? Maybe tweak something, change this, tone down that?
I would go back to the first album and not put 17 songs on it.
Good answer. Now, you're working
a lot of those songs didn't need to be there.
Yeah, okay. Good answer. You're working on a new album at the moment. How's that coming along?
It's going very well. We have currently 9 new tracks. And I just started doing vocals on tracks today, and it's going really well. It's sounding pretty good, actually really good, and I'm pretty psyched about it.
What can we expect from it? Any surprises on it?
Possibly. Dino and I have talked about having a few surprise guests on some songs.
Yeah.
So that's something we haven't done in a long time.
Okay.
And we're just excited. You know, other than that, we'll see how the recording process goes.
Yeah. When's it due for release, Ben?
Not till after Soundwave.
Okay.
Not till like March.
Righto. And the lineup, the same as the last one? Have we got any changes we need to know about?
No, same lineup.
Okay. Right. Let's talk about Fear Factory concert experience, shall we? What does a live performance mean to you? What does a live performance mean?
It means giving it my all and just having a really high energy show and, you know, giving the fans a great show. And that's what that means to me. You know, I'm there for a purpose, and I'm there to entertain the Fear Factory fans that come to see us, and I want them to get their money's worth. I want them to have the best show that I can possibly give.
Has your attitude to touring and performing changed much over the years?
Not really. I think I've gotten better at it over the years. I've always enjoyed touring. You know, of course, every day, you know, some days are better than others, and you're not always spot on, but, you know, 90% of the time I feel pretty good.
Good.
And I enjoy it. It's what I live for.
Yeah, awesome. What's been the concert highlight for you on a performance level?
Highlights, you know, there's a handful of shows that come to mind. You know, like playing my very first festival in Holland back in 93. There was about 80,000 people up there in front of me, and I jumped up and fell on my ass. From Metallica in Russia, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I've had the awesome opportunity and great experiences just to play with so many awesome bands in my career, and from festivals to just touring, and I've seen probably every band that metal fans love. I'm pretty honored to be able to say that.
Yeah. Now, you've played the 70,000 tons of metal cruise. Now, we don't have anything like that where we are. What was that like? You see the ads for it.
It's pretty cool, you know.
You see the ads for it with all these bands lined up. Sorry, go on.
No, you finish. Go ahead. There's a lot of bands, and it's a cruise ship, and it's funny because the the regular crew on these cruise ships are, they usually get some old people, gray-haired, blue-haired ladies, and, old men wearing their, black socks with their sandals and the blue blockers, and, but they get all these metal fans on the boat, and everyone's really kind and considerate, and it's a huge family partying on the boat, and you're there for 4 days. Everyone's drinking. Everyone's having a great time, getting sunburned beyond all belief, and everyone's just really cool, well-mannered. I've done it twice already. I've never had any problems. No one's like crazy. I mean, people are crazy, but no one bothers the artists, and everyone's just like mellow and cool, and just artists are walking around eating, hanging out in bars and eating food, and everyone's just chatting up. It's really awesome.
Awesome. Now, how many times have you been to Australia so far?
Whew. Man, so many times. And I would say at least 20 times.
Wow. Well, you're coming to Australia early next year for the Soundwave festivals. Now, we really look forward to these and to each new announcement for bands and that. And now, with it spread over 2 days in each city, it's promised that there'll be less clashes. So we're all pretty excited about that. How are you looking forward to Soundwave?
I'm super excited about it. I just keep hearing more and more about the lineup, and then every time I hear about more bands, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. So many great bands that I'm a fan of, bands that I'm friends with, bands that I've toured with. It's going to be a huge reunion for me in a lot of ways, and I'll get to see some awesome shows. And because I'm a music fan myself, I'm a fan of bands. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go watch Godflesh. Yeah, I'm going to watch Faith No More. I'm going to watch Soundgarden. I'm going to watch Lamb of God. I'm going to watch Ministry.
What have you got in store for Australian?
Up there.
What have you got in store for Australian crowds for this tour?
Well, for festivals, we just keep it like a real high energy, greatest hits type of set list. So everyone gets if you've never heard of Fear Factory before, you get a taste of a bit of everything that we do. Keep the energy high, and expect to hear at least one new song on the set list.
Awesome. Burton, been absolutely magnificent talking to you today. We look forward to seeing you in Soundwave. We look forward to a new album just after that. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Mal, and thank you, 3D Radio in Adelaide. Good talking to you.
Thank you. Mate, been absolutely fantastic talking to you. Hope you have a great time when you're down here, and I wish you every success.
Thank you very much, and I will have a good time.
Thanks, mate. You have a good day.